Chapter 8. When he was come down from the mountain, great multitudes followed him. And behold, there came a leper, and worshipped him, saying, Lord, if thou wilt, thou canst make me clean. And Jesus put forth his hand and touched him, saying, I will, be thou clean. And immediately his leprosy was cleansed. And Jesus saith unto him, See thou tell no man, but go thy way, shew thyself to the priest, and offer the gift that Moses commanded for a testimony unto them. And when Jesus was entered into Capernaum, there came unto him a centurion, beseeching him, and saying, Lord, my servant lieth at home, sick with the palsy, grievously tormented. And Jesus said unto him, I will come and heal him. The centurion answered and said, Lord, I am not worthy that thou shouldst come under my roof, but speak the word only, and my servant shall be healed. For I am a man under authority, having soldiers under me. And I say to this man, Go, and he goeth, and to another, Come, and he cometh, and to my servant, Do this, and he doeth it. When Jesus heard it, he marveled, and said unto them that followed, Verily I say unto you, I have not found so great faith, no, not in Israel. And I say unto you that many shall come from the east and the west, and shall sit down with Abraham and Isaac and Jacob in the kingdom of heaven. But the children of the kingdom shall be cast out into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and wailing and gnashing of teeth. And Jesus said unto the centurion, Go thy way, as thou hast believed, so be it done unto thee. And his servant was healed in that selfsame hour. And when Jesus was come into Peter's house, he saw his wife's mother laid and sick with a fever. And he touched her hand, and the fever left her, and she arose and ministered unto them. When the even was come, they brought unto him many that were possessed with devils, and he cast out the spirits with his word, and healed all that were sick, that it might be fulfilled which was spoken by Esaias the prophet, saying, Himself took our infirmities and bare our sicknesses. Now when Jesus saw great multitudes about him, he gave commandment to depart unto the other side. And a certain scribe came and said unto him, Master, I will follow thee whithersoever thou goest. And Jesus saith unto him, The foxes have holes, and the birds of the air have nests, but the Son of Man hath not where to lay his head. And another of his disciples said unto him, Lord, suffer me first to go and bury my father. But Jesus said unto him, Follow me, and let the dead bury their dead. And when he was entered into a ship, his disciples followed him. And behold, there arose a great tempest in the sea, insomuch that the ship was covered with the waves, but he was asleep. And his disciples came to him, and awoke him, saying, Lord, save us, we perish. And he saith unto them, Why are ye fearful, O ye of little faith? Then he arose, and rebuked the winds and the sea, and there was a great calm. But the men marveled, saying, What manner of man is this, that even the winds and the sea obey him? And when he was come to the other side into the country of the Gergesenes, there met him two possessed with devils, coming out of the tombs, exceeding fierce, so that no man might pass by that way. And behold, they cried out, saying, What have we to do with thee, Jesus, thou Son of God? Art thou come hither to torment us before the time? And there was a good way off from them an herd of many swine feeding. So the devils besought him, saying, If thou cast us out, suffer us to go away into the herd of swine. And he said unto them, Go. And when they were come out, they went into the herd of swine, and behold, the whole herd of swine ran violently down a steep place into the sea, and perished in the waters. And they that kept them fled, and went their way into the city, and told everything of what had befallen to the possessed of the devils. And behold, the whole city came out to meet Jesus, and when they saw him, they besought him that he would depart out of their coasts. This chapter is largely very, very plain and simple. He talks about the things, and it's very, very easy to understand in English. There's a few things you might not understand, and a few things that I find absolutely hilarious. However, the centurion, just in case you were not aware, was a Roman army officer. He was in charge of a group of about 100 men. That's where the word centurion comes from. He's in charge of 100 men. And that would have made him roughly the equivalent of a captain in the United States or any European army. And he was a man of some interesting influence in Judea. But the thing that was most impressive to the Savior about him was the Savior said that I will come. And he said, that's not necessary for you to come. I'm an officer. I tell certain things to happen, and they happen. People do things for me. I know that all you need to do is speak the word, and my servant will be healed. And the Savior says, I have not found such faith in all Israel. At the same time, however, he is healing all of these people, and yet this centurion's faith is more than theirs were. Then we come to the part that I think is almost hilarious. Well, it is hilarious to me. Part of it is anyway. And verse 28, there's this part of the storm and where he calms the wind and the waves, and that's not the hilarious part, but it's the men marveled in verse 27, saying, what manner of man is this that even the winds and the sea obey him? They didn't know who he was yet. But verse 28 is the one that I find really hilarious. And not because of the effect it had on the people, but because of who was involved here. And when he was come to the other side of the Sea of Galilee, in the country of the Gergesenes, there met him two possessed of devils, two individuals who were possessed of devils, coming out of the tombs, exceedingly fierce, so that no man might pass that way. Now these individuals would have been in the tombs. They would have seen to it that nobody would have traveled on that route going past that way. That was a specific reason why they were there, and somebody was taking advantage of that. But they recognized who the Savior was. In verse 29, but behold, they cried out, what have we to do with thee, Jesus, thou Son of God? Art thou come hither to torment us before the time? Obviously they recognized there was a time when they were going to have to deal with the Savior. Interesting. They knew that, and yet they had voted with their obedience to Satan that they were not going to do the things necessary to get bodies and come to this earth. And so they invaded the bodies of these two poor guys. And verse 30, this is where the humor starts. And there was a good way off from them a herd of many swine feeding. So the devils besought the Savior, saying, if thou cast us out, suffer us to go away into the herd of swine. They wanted to have bodies so badly they were willing to take any body. And so the Savior then gave them permission to go, and they left the two individuals. These spirits left the two individuals and went into the herd of swine. And behold, the whole herd of swine was smarter than the people had been. They ran violently down the steep place and perished in the waters. Now, those that had kept the swine fled, went into the city, and told everything that had befallen to the possessed of the devil. So you basically say these two guys are now cured. You would think everybody would be happy that these two guys were now cured of the devils. But there's a problem. And the problem we find out in verse 34. The whole city came out to meet Jesus. You would think, oh, they're going to celebrate. These two brothers of ours are now healed and all the rest of it. No. And when they saw Jesus, they besought him, oh, please, would you please leave our area? Why? Well, you got to understand. The Jews were forbidden to have anything to do with pigs. Here, obviously, were a bunch of Jewish pig farmers. They had the pigs in what they figured would be a safe place with these two guys that were possessed by devils in the tombs, and anybody that would come that way, these guys would come out and make noise and scare them off so that nobody would bother their Jewish pigs. And then, because the Savior had allowed these men to be healed, the spirits to leave them, the spirits went into the pigs and the pigs died, and these guys lost all that money for all these pigs. And so I really don't feel bad for the Jewish pig farmers here. I sort of chuckle at this one.